Welcome to EML1501 Emergent Literacy. My name is Mrs. P.S Makhura, your lecturer for this module. My telephone number is as indicated 012-429-6582. The email address is emacoops@unisa.ac.za. The purpose of this recording is to give you an overview of what to expect in the 2021 examination, as well as to give you feedback on your assignment 2. And that is what Thomas, I can the words. Okay. The introduction for this slide. The purpose of this presentation is to provide you with feedback on assignment 2, as well as to prepare you for the coming September to November examinations. Remember, these examinations will be online. With regards to communication, I've already indicated, I've given you my contact details as the lecturer for EML. My telephone number is indicated 012-429-6582. My email address, emacoops@unisa.ac.za. You can also communicate with me on my UNISA discussion forums. Make sure that you always include your module name, your name, and student number in the communication. Some of the students only send me an email and don't include your student number and name. It is very, very important for you to give me your student number so that I'll be able to know who sent me the email. Please make sure that you prepare or make sure that you have the following study materials with you. That is tutorial 101 as well as tutorial 201. Your tutorial 101 is the one that contains the assignments as well as the main information regarding your assignments and studies. And 201 is the one with, tutorial 201 is the one that gives you feedback on assignment 2, as well as information regarding the examination. You also have to have your EML1501 study guide with you, because it is the main study guide that we are using. We don't have an official study book for this module. We only use the study guide. Since this is not a face-to-face interaction session, for questions of clarity, you can email me, you can share information on my UNISA, and as students amongst yourselves, you can share ideas, and you can also interact on your own. But it is very, very important for you, and I would really appreciate it if you communicate directly with me if you have any questions or queries. As I indicated, the main purpose of this presentation is to give you feedback with regards to assignment 2, as well as exam preparation, and also to give you information, which is very, very important, information regarding Invigilator app. Remember last year we wrote our examinations online without being invigilated. Now for this year, we will be having our examinations online again, but this time we are going to have an Invigilator app. This is meant for the integrity of our examinations, so that as a university or as an institution, we are able to make sure that the quality of our examination is not compromised. Now, with regards to assignment 1, I'm not going to read through the scenario, but I'm just going to give you an overview of what was expected of you. The question 1 was a scenario of where Teacher Morungwa planned an activity for learners to make Christmas cards for their parents. Now, I'm not going to get deeper into that scenario. You can read it on your own, but what was expected of you is to read the scenario and thereafter answer the questions. As I indicated, you are expected to read the scenario and not only to read, but to read with understanding so that you can be able to answer the questions as it was required. Now, with regards to question 101, you were required to identify any 2 skills that learners acquired from the activity. Now, with regards to the answers for this assignment, refer to your tutorial 201. Question 1.2, what was the teacher's role in the activity? Now, as a lecturer, I expected you as a student to give me the main role of the teacher in the activity. Now, most of you did not provide me with the roles as expected, although some of you gave me the roles and you were given options, whether the teacher was a facilitator or an instructor. Now, based on the answer that you gave me, you were supposed to give me to provide reasons for your answer. 1.3, what was the role of the learners? I think you also, here you are also supposed to give me what you, according to what you read on the scenario, think the role of the learners was. Whether they were passive participants or active participants in the activities, you are supposed to give me your answer and with a reason. If you say they were passive, why do you say they were passive? If you say they were active, why do you say they were active? Now, I just want to rectify something on question 1.1. I think the word there is supposed to be any 2 skills, not 2 kills. Ne? Any 2 skills that learners acquired from the activity. Now, there are many skills that learners could acquire from this activity. For example, communication skills, creativity, and fine motor skills because they were engaged physically in doing the activity. Now, those are some of the skills that I just wanted to outline, but for more information, refer to tab 201. Question 1.4, which language teaching theory can you relate this lesson to? Now, most of you indicated, gave the different language theories that they think could relate the lesson to. But for more information, also you can refer to your tutorial because under study unit 1.8.3, there is a number of theorists who gave their different explanations regarding the use of language. We have, for example, some of you related the lesson to the cognitive or social theory of Piaget, which is still relevant. Question 1.5, do you think the learners had fun when completing the activity? Provide reasons for your answer. Here also, you are supposed to indicate why do you say the learners had fun, and of which, if the learners had fun, why do you say so? So most of you indicated that yes, indeed, the learners had fun because they were willing to participate on their own. They were excited about their Christmas cards, and they also continued to talk about their cards. So those are the reasons I expected you to provide in the answer. 1.6. Did the teacher assess the children? Yes, remember, whenever a teacher prepares an activity, he or she prepares the activity with the aim of assessing her teaching. Now, in this situation, the teacher indeed assessed the learners. Now, as a student, you were supposed to give us the technique that the teacher used. Some of you indicated that, yes, the teacher used the observation. She observed what the learners were doing. She used formative assessment or quantitative formative assessment or anecdotal notes, because if you refer to study unit 5, you will see the different assessment techniques that are indicated there. Now you can indicate or choose one study assessment technique that you think was relevant during this activity. Now we are moving to question 2. Under question 2, we are supposed to answer a question that relates to the language experience approach. You are given a scenario, a short scenario where it indicates that it explains what the language experience approach is all about. Now, based on that, the provided statement, you are supposed to answer the provided questions. Now, with regards to this, the questions for this answer, you are also referred to study guide unit 3.10.2, where it gives you an explanation of what the language experience approach is. And it indicates that the language experience approach acknowledges to children that their experiences can be put on paper and be read. It also encourages children to want to read as they are being acknowledged and recognized as story writers and storytellers. Their self-image becomes enhanced, maintains that children learn better when they learn from their own experiences. I'm not going to go through all the examples that are provided, but as a student, refer to to your tutorial 201, which has all the answers there. And also to your study guide 3.10.2. Okay, question 2.2, provide 3 practical examples of how you can apply the language experience approach during a lesson and refer to at least one of the theories you have learned. Now, as well here, remember with emergent literacy, you timelessly get info, you are timelessly referred to theories, because the module is more on how children learn language. Now, you are timelessly referred to the views of the different theorists who researched or observed how children learn language. Now, in most instances, questions that we ask you, we expect you to also relate the answer or look at or think of how the theorists think of the manner in which children have acquire language. Okay. Now you also refer to, you still refer to study unit 3.10.2, and then also on study unit 1, an example of learners giving their individual experience on an outing. So this is what we are expecting. You can give also your own examples. We did not rule that out. We also appreciated the fact that you used your creativity on giving your own examples. 2.3, discuss ways in which you as a teacher can record an experience. Base your discussion on the following: discussing the experience, dictating the story. We are just expected to give us two of your to base your discussions under two, which is the discussing the experience and dictating the story, but not everything that is written down under the language experience approach. Okay, now I'm not going to read that one as well in full, but I'm going to refer you to study unit 3.10.2, where it clearly outlines the steps on discussing the experience. For example, you share a story about the outing. The probe for you as a teacher have to probe more on what the learners are giving you. And then you also look into things like how the learners are sequencing the events. In terms of questions, if you ask them questions, are they able to answer the questions as you expect? Those are some of the things that we're expecting from you as a teacher, and not take the information as is in the study guide. And with regards to dictating the story, we look at how children are able to present the story. Are they presenting the facts in the chronological order in how they happened? And are you as a teacher able to engage them to do the activity on their own? And you as a teacher only become a scribe. You write down what the learners are presenting. So that information as well is also under study guide unit 3.10.2. Okay. Now, I'm going to move to question 3, which is under assessment. Assessment is regarded in preschool as highly informal and takes place into account the child in totality. Remember, assessment is very, very crucial in preschool. Now, for this question, you were given a short information about assessment, and you were expected to give a brief explanation of what we'll use the following assessment tools for. That is question 3.1. 3.1.1, a checklist. Now, as a teacher, whenever you teach, you use different tools to assess your learners. Now we have a checklist here. We only wanted to give us information regarding this tool, which is the checklist, as well as anecdotal notes. Now the information or the answers are also in your study guide under unit 5.7.1. Now under this study unit, we refer to the same competencies from different perspectives as what must be measured for assessing reading readiness in children. These competencies are used as the key areas that must be measured to ensure that children do not experience reading problems when they start school. This is what we use the checklist for. Now, the process that outlines literacy development is referred to as emergent reading. So we look at the competencies that children are able to achieve. Now, With regards to a checklist, we said a checklist is a tool that is shown in that is used in literacy development, and a teacher can use it to allocate points or scores per literacy item indicated under each competency. Now, as a student, you are supposed to go to that study unit 5 under assessment, and then you look at how best a checklist is used in assessing learners. Now, for more information, you can go to your study guide. 3.1.2 is anecdotal notes. In most instances, these are the notes that teachers use when they observe their children working in activities, or when they are playing, or when they are engaged in activities. It can be in the fantasy area, it can be during art, any activity that the children are engaged in. Remember, in early childhood or in the foundation phase, children, especially in grade art, children learn through play. Now, as they are playing, engaged in play, you as a teacher, you're supposed to observe what is it that they are doing. Are they really learning, and what skills are they acquiring? Those are the notes that the teacher are taking. We call them anecdotal notes. You also use the notes to assess children's behavior, how it all depends what you as a teacher want to assess the learners on, using these anecdotal notes. Now, this information is also under in your study guide under unit 5.7.2. Question 3.2, you were expected to give and evaluation. I'm not going to get deeper into that. Remember, there is a thin line between assessment and evaluation. But with regards to assessment, we define it as a systematic process of recording learners' observed activities with regard to their knowledge, skills, and attitudes in order to promote their learning. It is an ongoing process, remember, and we observe, describe, collect information about what the learners have learned, and lastly, we also record and interpret the information about children's development and their learning. Now, with regards to evaluation, evaluation is you as a teacher, you give your own judgment with regards to how you view the children's learning. It is a process that you as a student can follow to get control of your learning as well. And I'm not going to get deeper into that. It gives you the views of different researchers. For example, Gordon Brown, he regards evaluation as a process that judges whether certain standards have been met. Remember, in each and everything that we are doing, at the end of the day, you evaluate yourself. Even during your teaching as a teacher, you evaluate whether you have achieved the set objectives that you have set for yourselves. Another example that I usually give my students is that at the beginning of the year, we are excited. We are starting a new year. We give ourselves objectives. This is what I want to achieve during the year. Now, at the end of the year, you also have to sit down and check, evaluate yourself as to whether you managed to achieve the objectives that you have set for yourselves in that particular year. Under 3.3, you are expected to develop a schematic representation of the formative assessment, the formative assessment cycle. Now, In this situation, you were given an example of how the formative assessment cycle works in your study guide. But most of you as students used that example as it is and did not use your own examples. You were expecting you to use the one in your booklet only as a guideline, and then after then develop your own.
Okay.
Okay, now we are going to look at question 4. What was expected of you in under question 4? Under question 4, you were given a picture to analyze. Now, with the picture that was given to you, you were expected to answer question 4.1 as follows. Analyze the picture and identify the emergent literacy skill that you observe. Provide reasons for your answer. Now here, most of you did not answer the question satisfactorily. Some said it was the emergent, it's the scribbling stage, of which there is a question on stages, but in this instance, you are supposed to give one of the emergent literacy skills. Remember, the emergent literacy skills are emergent writing, emergent reading, not the scribbling stages and the like you gave. Ne? Now, in this case, we are supposed to say the correct answer that I was expecting is, it is the emergent writing skill that is observed. Because the reason provided there would be, this stage is a developmental writing process in which children randomly scribble and draw and then assign meaning to the scribbles and drawings. I think the issue that confused most of you is because in the picture, the child is having a pencil or a crayon and is scribbling. Now that is where the confusion came in. Question 4.2. Name and discuss the first two emergent writing stages that children between birth and 3 years go through. Create pictures as examples for each stage. Now, this is where the stages are coming in. An uncontrolled scribbling stage, which is a stage where children only attempt to write through scribbles. For more information, you can also refer to your study guide under study unit 4.7, where the different stages are being explained. And then you were also expected to discuss the second stage, which is then answer the question as required. Now, what most of the students did not do is to create pictures. Remember, if you answer an assignment, you look at the mark allocation, and after looking at the mark allocation, you answer the question based on the marks that you want to acquire. Now, if you leave out the pictures, most of you left out the pictures. Leaving out the pictures means that you are losing marks for not creating those pictures. So you are supposed to at least create 2 pictures of the scribbling stage that show how learners draw during or write during this stage. And then you were also supposed to give 2 examples of the uncontrolled scribbling stage, where you indicate or show how learners write during this uncontrolled scribbling stage. Now, with regards to preparation for exams, which is our part B, you are referred to tutorial letter 201. The tutorial letter 201 has already been put on my UNISA for you to peruse it and get an understanding of what is expected of you during the exams. I'm just going to go through the expectations. UNISA has moved to online examinations, and please note that no examinations will be venue-based. We've been receiving emails from students who were asking us whether the exams would be venue-based. With the current situation of COVID, we cannot have venue-based examinations, but we are still going to continue with online examinations. Bullet number 3, make sure that you have access to my UNISA and you have activated your My Life email account. You also require sufficient connectivity for the day of the exam. Most of you are struggling with connectivity on the day of the exams. That is where there's enough connectivity. And with regards to scoping, that is a question that most of you are asking us, whether you'll be given a scope for the examination. The answer is, as lecturers, we are not allowed to demarcate or scope a specific work for examination. You are therefore encouraged to learn everything. We are not giving out any scope to say, go and read, study unit 1 up to this far, study unit 2 up to this far. Okay, you are supposed to read everything as a student. What I also want to advise you as a student is to draw up a study program and ensure that you cover all the prescribed sections. Read the questions carefully and make sure that you understand what is asked in the examination. Make sure that you answer the question looking at the allocated marks. Students don't fail because they don't understand the question, but it's because they don't interpret the question as required. So interpret the question and look at the mark allocation. Okay, now I want to get into the most thing that worries our students, which is the new mode of invigilation that we'll be using as an institution, which is we will be using what we call an invigilator app. Now, EML1501 will also be used for the September to November exams. We will also be using this invigilator app. You are therefore urged to attend or familiarize yourself with everything that has to do with invigilator app. You are also encouraged to attend the scheduled trainings so that you get an understanding of how the examination will be conducted. Some students are indicating that they don't have smartphones, they don't have this, they don't have that. Unfortunately, this is a rule. This is where we have to start. It is because we also want to maintain the integrity of our institution. We don't want students to be engaged in plagiarism. So the only way is for us also to use the invigilator app so that we get a better understanding, as we are not physically there to see what you will be doing during the exams. Lastly, I want to say, what is it that you need to expect in the examination? The question paper would be having a multiple choice questions, or matching true or false, case studies or scenarios, as well as essay type or short questions. Make sure that you read the instructions thoroughly. The other thing that I want you to ensure that you do before you start writing examinations. A day or two before you start writing the examinations, just make sure that you have downloaded the Invigilator app on your smartphone. Don't download the Invigilator app during the exams because you are just going to waste time. You are given a limited time to start the examination for the Invigilator app, because on the day of the examination, you are given 15 minutes to scan the QR code that is given for the paper. After scanning, you are following the instructions that the app would be given to you through your smartphone. Then after then, you can then switch off and start writing. For more information, as I indicated, you can contact me on my email address or telephonically on the contact details that I provided. Thank you once more and good luck in your exams.